Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Azam Khan. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. The Ice Hockey Association is given 1 month to defend itself over an anthem fiasco or be suspended from the city's top sports body. Mainland tour groups will have meals on a cruise restaurant vessel, according to sources. And China hits out as U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy confirms that he'll meet Taiwan's leader. The future of the city's Ice Hockey Association hangs in the balance over a national anthem blunder. It has been given 1 month to defend itself or be suspended from Hong Kong's top sports body. Chloe Fung reports.
1 month after the latest national anthem mix-up, the Sports Federation and Olympic Committee of Hong Kong, China said the membership of the city's Ice Hockey Association will be suspended unless it gives a full explanation within a month. This comes after a protest song was played instead of the national anthem during a tournament in Bosnia. Following talks with the government, the city's top sports body ordered the ice hockey group to provide a full written explanation for its non-compliance with relevant guidelines to handle the incident in a dignified manner. The association also has to come up with a plan to improve its governance. After scrutinizing 2 earlier reports, the Sports Federation said it believed that the Ice Hockey Association failed to comply with the guidelines. But players will not be affected. They can continue to train and compete. The women's team is currently in Romania for the World Championships. The government threw its weight behind the Sports Federation, warning that ice hockey funding will be slashed if its suspension is confirmed. According to the Leisure and Cultural Services Department, the Ice Hockey Association received over $5.2 million in the 2021 to 2022 financial year. Chloe Fong, HKIBC.
Chief Executive John Lee says local workers will be protected when the government imports labor to ease a manpower shortage in some sectors. He also tried to ease the concerns of parents who fear that cutting the so-called door-knocking quotas will reduce the chances of their children going to their preferred school. Edna Tse reports.
Government plans to tackle the labor shortage in the construction and transportation sectors have worried local workers. But speaking before his weekly cabinet meeting, Chief Executive John Lee gave Hong Kong workers an assurance. When we plan to import workers, their wages must not be less than the median income of that particular sector. That's the established policy, Lee said. Details will be announced in the middle of the year. Lee also tried to reassure parents who fear that the last hopes of securing a school of their choice for their children will be dashed. This followed comments by education officials that the so-called door-knocking quotas may be reduced because of a fall in student numbers, 14% in primary school enrollment and 18% in secondary schools. Lee said the Education Bureau will consider policies including mergers to address the decline in student numbers. The chief executive also emphasized the importance of his forthcoming visit to the Greater Bay Area later this month. All 90 legislators are expected to accompany him.
Hong Kong can play a part in attracting talents and also be the gateway between mainland cities and the international world. We have, of course, advantages and strengths in some areas. Mainland cities have their advantages and strengths as well. So we want to create synergy in different areas, including education, technology, or even green environment development.
The Hong Kong delegation is expected to meet provincial and city leaders and study different areas, including technology and the environment, as well as sports and culture. Edna Tse, HKIBC.
The chief executive also said anyone can seek police help if needed. His statement came after the Hong Kong Journalists Association claimed that unknown individuals were following some reporters.
I will not spend time to talk about individual speculation or perception. But if anybody wants to seek assistance from the police, they can do it.
Some mainland tour groups will be diverted to a restaurant cruiser for their meals in a bid to ease congestion in Hong Kong and To Kwa Wan, according to sources. Hong Kong hosted an average of 4,500 mainlanders daily since the border reopened. Here's Chloe Feng.
The harbor cruise Bohemia offers tourists a dining and sightseeing experience, usually starting from North Point and sailing past Causeway Bay, Wan Chai, Tsim Sha Tsui, Hong Han, Kat Tak, and Lei Yu Mon, before stopping at Tai Kau. But sources say from tomorrow the ship will also host mainland tour groups for meals. This follows complaints of overcrowding at lunchtime in Hong Han and To Kwa Wan. The restaurant cruiser will offer 5 slots daily, each of which can cater to 300 visitors for 45 minutes. Each table can accommodate between 10 and 12 tourists. If a travel agency books fewer than 10 seats, the visitors will be charged more. Prices for the tour group meals range from $64 to $160. The cheapest category is $20 more expensive than the meals offered in To Kwa Wan. Those paying the top price will be treated to crabs and abalone. The Travel Industry Authority has reportedly already notified travel agencies that they can take their clients to the harbor cruise Bohemia. The Travel Industry Council, which protects the interest of travel agents, has also been looking at ways to ease the crowded lunch problem. It is coordinating with about 10 restaurants in Kowloon and on Hong Kong Island to host tour groups. Since inbound tour groups resumed in February, about 4,600 mainland groups have visited Hong Kong, with 86% of them arriving last month. That works out to about 4,500 tourists a day. Chloe Feng, HKIBC.
A former primary school principal and a former director of a tutorial center have been granted bail when they appeared in court charged with sharing confidential exam and quiz questions. The ICAC accused Henry Kwok, the former head of Tak Sun School, of misconduct in public office. He is also jointly charged with Pang Wing-han with conspiracy to commit misconduct. Pang is a former director of Diligence Learning Center. The alleged offenses took place between July 2017 and June 2021. In 2017, Kwok borrowed money from his mother and helped Pang set up the tutorial center, but did not tell the school. West Kowloon Magistracy adjourned the case to late June, when it will be heard in the district court. Official figures show that Kwun Tong has replaced Sham Shui Po as the poorest district in Hong Kong. The Census and Statistics Department said the city's median household income last year rose 3% from a year earlier to $28,300 per month. The Central and Western remained at the top of the district income chart on over $40,000. Kwun Tong had the lowest at $22,100, nearly 30% lower than the average. Experts attributed the decline to the manpower crunch and the pandemic, as many lower-income households depended on the tourism and retail sectors. China has turned up the heat on the eve of a meeting between Taiwan's leader and a senior U.S. lawmaker. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy confirmed that he will meet Tsai Ing-wen on her way home after a trip to Central America. Sachin Katpi reports.
Tsai Ing-wen wrapped up her visit to Central America by addressing the General Assembly in Belize. The Taiwan leader spoke of economic, environmental, and political challenges. Earlier, she visited neighboring Guatemala. A major diplomatic storm is brewing as she prepares to return to Taiwan via the United States. During a stopover in Los Angeles, she will meet U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. The Republican lawmaker confirmed that he and other legislators will hold talks with Tsai at the Reagan Presidential Library in Southern California tomorrow. The United States said Tsai is making a regular travel stopover and urged China not to overreact. But Beijing warned that the meeting could jeopardize peace and stability in the Asia-Pacific region. The Chinese consulate in Los Angeles accused Tsai of putting on a political show which could encourage separatist forces. It warned that McCarthy could be making a disastrous mistake, referring to the visit to Taiwan by his predecessor, Nancy Pelosi, last year. Pelosi's tour prompted Beijing to conduct military exercises around Taiwan, while Sino-US relations plunged to a new low. This will be Chai's second stopover in the US, having done so last week when she transited through New York on her way to Central America. Sachin Katwe, HKIBC.
Former US President Donald Trump is preparing to surrender himself to the Manhattan District Attorney's office and be fingerprinted before appearing before a judge. Trump is making history by becoming the first former US president to face criminal charges. Here's Sachin Katvi again.
From the moment the motorcade left his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, former President Donald Trump's journey to New York was monitored by millions of Americans. His supporters lined the route to Palm Beach Airport, where a plane with Trump painted in big letters took off for New York. On arrival at LaGuardia Airport, the plane was almost encircled by several cars, which left in a convoy for Trump Towers, where the former president huddled with his lawyers. Trump will be arraigned in a Manhattan court overnight. He was indicted for paying hush money to porn star Stormy Daniels during his presidential campaign in 2016. The former president says he's innocent and that the case is politically motivated. A full list of charges will be disclosed in court. New York City, meanwhile, has stepped up security and sent a message to Trump loyalists.
While there may be some rabble-rousers thinking about coming to our city tomorrow, our message is clear and simple. Control yourselves. As always, we will not allow violence or vandalism of any kind, and if one is caught participating in any act of violence, they will be arrested and held accountable, no matter who you are.
Trump is the first former or sitting U.S. president to face criminal charges. He will head back to Florida immediately after his arraignment. Sachin Katvi, HKIBC.
A massive fire has destroyed thousands of shops in the Bangladeshi capital, Dhaka. The blaze broke out early this morning and quickly spread in a shopping complex in the crowded area of Banga Bazaar, which is renowned for its clothing stores. There were no early reports of casualties, but many shops were reduced to ashes. Several store owners were distraught after losing their livelihood. The goods they had stocked up for the festival of Eid were destroyed. Firefighting efforts were hampered by thick smoke and cramped streets. Hong Kong stocks have closed lower after a jump in oil prices triggered inflation fears. The Hang Seng Index finished 0.7% lower on concerns of a potential recession. Food delivery giant Meituan lost 4.4% after a major stakeholder transferred 250 million shares to a brokerage firm for disposal. Video sharing website Bilibili took a 5.6% hit as top content creators with millions of followers stopped posting new titles amid declining income from the platform. But Hong Kong-based tech firm SenseTime surged 12.8% on reports that it is preparing to launch its own chatbot. Now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index closed down 134 points. Top 10 active stocks, SenseTime finished up 37 cents, and Meituan was down $6.10. China Mobile was up $1.35, and AIA down 10 cents. Forex trading against the Hong Kong dollar, the euro is at 8.56, pound sterling at 9.81. And over to UK markets, the London FTSE is currently up 0.72 points. On to the weather now. Mostly cloudy with a few showers and isolated thunderstorms. Temperatures will range between 23 and 27 degrees. Expect similar conditions in the lead up to the weekend. That's our main news for Tuesday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Azam Khan. Good night.